What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Kim Wilde. As always, big thank you to Mark. And he has sent me the deluxe or special edition of Select 1982. And I bring this up because when I start going through an album, I usually open the master release on Discogs. So on Discogs, after Wendy's Sod, the next tune is Cambodia Reprise. But in the folder I'm working from, after Wendy's Sod is Cambodia and then Cambodia Reprise. So I'm just going to listen to both the normal version of Cambodia and Cambodia Reprise, even though it doesn't seem like that was the original sequence of songs on the first release of the album. Nevertheless, just thinking about the title, I mean, Cambodia, it is a nation state. This is the early 80s and only a few years after the depravities of Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge, so I do wonder if this might relate to that. It is after Vietnam invaded and toppled that government and established a new government which at the very least stopped the worst of the genocidal massacres. So yeah, I do wonder if this might relate to that geopolitical history. Of course, it could just be a geographical or physical setting or even just reference point, but it is, of course, or at least the first track is, a single word title, so it's hard to get a read on. Reprise, though, I imagine, like, musically or maybe lyrically, there will be a mirroring or at the very least an extrapolation from an existing foundation of the first track. That would be my thought. Let's give them a listen and see what is actually happening. I have queued them both up, so they will lead one into the other, and then I'll try to think and talk about what I've heard after both of them play. pause it because I'm going to forget everything. There's like so much to say. I absolutely love that. I like it had this danger to it. It had this feeling of uncertainty. It was beautiful and yet very dark and even a bit tough at the same time. I'm just trying to do my best to characterize the sonic and musical atmosphere of this one. But yeah, okay, number one, I love the different elements here. I mean, there's definitely this, organ, electric keyboard type of layer, but then there was a layer where I was like, wait, is that like, almost sounds like a xylophone, maybe like a dulcimer or something, but definitely there was a beauty to it, but again, there was also this toughness to it. There were those sounds which felt like they were, accompanied by rushing air, or they came sliding in and pushing out. And the percussion, it was, it flourished and it was cycling, and yet on top of it there was this sort of beautiful sheen. And then her voice had this drama, and I will say also, like from the very beginning, I was like, oh, this almost sounds like a Gary Newman track or something. It had this, early 80s synth sound, which, I mean, I guess that is what it is. It's a, a synth track from the early 80s. But yeah, it had this electricity to it, but as it went along, again, there were these other elements which gave it a bit of a dangerous feel, a mystical feel, an edgy or like tough feel. So it was more than just that feeling I had right when it started, but that was certainly part of it too. And I enjoy her vocals, which again had a bit of danger and mystery to them. Narratively, I'm not sure what's happening here, and indeed, I felt like, oh, is it like, so he's going to Cambodia, so maybe they're not in Cambodia. But either way, so like the bits I did catch, it's like, it's a couple, I think, a man and a woman, and then like apparently he's been like crying to her and like is in some complicated emotional state, or he's been through a lot, but then he gets a call in the middle of the night. He can't even pack a bag. He's got a job to do. He's on a plane, I think, going to Cambodia. And of course that's making me think of the wars in, not only Vietnam but Indochina, the bombing of Cambodia, Laos, and so on, which the US and even before the US, other Western powers, France, were involved in. So I do wonder if there is some like real geopolitical history being referenced here. But yeah, so he has to go do something, and then apparently it's like a year, he hasn't come back, and then she gets a call and she has to pack a case and to move quickly, and then there's a line near the end about like, well, she knows she'll see his face again. So again, I don't know quite what's happening. It feels like maybe there is some, military or political meaning or backdrop to this, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was. But it sounds like a very personal story between these two characters at the same time. So I love that one. Absolutely fantastic tune. Though again, it seems like maybe that version of the track was not actually on the original release of the album, but what we're about to hear, Cambodia Reprise, was. So in any case, let's now listen to Cambodia Reprise. Helicopter? Oh. Higher tempo? Oh yeah. been a bombing raid, also the Doppler effect of the helicopter passing overhead. But yeah, that's fantastic. Now, we are, of course, missing her vocals, and there are no lyrics here, so an instrumental. And it does feel like it carries on that mixture of emotion, but also dangerous or dark intensity of the regular Cambodia track, but at double speed and with maybe a bit more emphasis on the intensity and a slightly reduced emotional sound, which again, maybe because the vocals and lyrics are missing. But yeah, so okay, it's faster, you can tell that coming in even before the kick drum and the snare come in, like there's just that pulsing bass, but the synth line, it tells you it's going to be faster. And I love the layered synths here. There's like 3, maybe 4 keyboard lines over the course of the track, and at, some different moments they're layered over each other, and it's a very dense and atmospheric sound. So yeah, I absolutely love that, and I feel like it is a lovely follow-up and complement to the dark and mysterious and a bit edgy regular Cambodia tunes. So yeah, a pair of fantastic tracks, and again, there have been 1 or 2 exceptions, but overall, I'd say this album definitely has an edgy darkness to it, much more so than the first album. So yeah, I very much enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Once again, big thank you to Mark for this, and there are a number of more tracks in this folder. So yeah, before we move on to the next chapter of the Kim journey, we've got more to go through. So let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.